Hello, homies, and a very warm welcome to Homeopathy Hangout. Today, we have the privilege of speaking to Dr. Ajit Kulkarni. Welcome to the show, Ajit.
Yes, welcome everyone here.
It's lovely to have you on. I'm trying to think of how I stumbled upon you. I think it was a listener or somebody that said, "Have you heard of Dr. Ajit? You have to get him on the show." So it's lovely to have you on. And you are very famous for incorporating body language with homeopathy. And before we started recording, you were saying like body language is actually 65% of, the communication language is what 35%. So I'm really excited to hear about what you have to share with us today. And for those listening, YouTube deleted my channel for apparent medical misinformation because they didn't like the truths that I was telling. So you will be able to find the slide that Dr. Ajit is going to share with us. He's prepared some slides for today. That will be on my Rumble channel. So just go to rumble.com and just type in Homeopathy Hangout or Eugenie Kruger and it will come up. And thank you so much for presenting the slide, Ajit. I'm going to leave the floor to you and you can do your presentation for us.
Okay, this is the first slide.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has just to observe because body language is for observation. We have to develop the eye of observation. We have objective analysis. We have objective science. We believe that pathology gives us objective science. And we believe that this is something which with your eyes, then it becomes very important. Hughes used to say that objective science are much more important sometimes than even mental rubrics. Because in the mind, there is a lot of imaginations, a lot of fantasies. Here, there is a reality. There is a vision before you. There is a language before you. So this first slide, which I am showing you, is giving you gestures and postures together. These are the signboards, these are the symbols, these are the metaphors before you. And there is a language within it, beneath it, deep within it, which we have to explore today and to understand. So, I will be giving you all these ways of understanding different avenues of prescribing in homeopathy. Body language is one of them, which is as essential as keynote system of prescribing. It is as essential as a part of understanding the totality in the language of homeopathy. So Shakespeare has written that it is the disease of not listening, the malady of not marking that I am troubled in addition to. Shakespeare, the great, writes that I have the disease of not listening. I have the disease, I'm unable to mark, I'm unable to observe. So this is about Shakespeare, no? So what about us?
Yeah, exactly.
So verbal language, the language through the words is 35%, according to the research. So we have the words, there is a language of the words, there is a content in the words, the feelings, the power of the words, everyone knows. Everyone likes to talk and talk, no? And very few people want to listen and listen. The fundamental basis of communication is listening and not talking. Talking is secondary. Primary is listening. In the listening, there is a silence. In the listening, there is a tranquility. In the listening, there is a reception of what others talk with you. Then your brain is full with the information. Then, if you go on talking, it has a sense. It has a field of operation which is created after you listen something. Because in the listening process, the pieces of the information which have been gathered, your brain starts working on it. So there is analysis, there is evaluation. You want to work in a result oriented way. So everything after you comprehend the information comes through the listening. So listening is a part of the body language. Now let us see now the non-verbal language, gestures. So when there is a movement, postures like this one. When there is a still portrait of you, then comes face expressions, eye expressions, appearance, how you have an attire, what kind of the appearance you project to the external world, modulations of the voice, use of space and distancing, and the last one, tactile communication related to the touch. These all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 are the basic elements of body language. When your patient is sitting before you in a chair over a sofa, he is a dynamic human individual. It cannot be like this over half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours. Is it possible? Every movement has some determinism. Every movement has some intention. Every posture is not without meaning. Every metaphor gives you something as a meaning. That meaning understanding is body language. And this is not separate from the totality concept of homeopathy. It is not separate from redefining totality. It is understanding totality, understanding mental rubrics, understanding the patient in a more comprehensive way, in a more synthetic way, where evaluation process become more meaningful. You are not lost in the words. Words are important, no doubt, but every word has many meanings. Sometimes the way in which the sentence is being formulated and presented makes a change in the understanding. There is an incompleteness of the words. So words have incompleteness. Words have many meanings. Words can be manipulative, but body language realistic.
Mm.
You can't manipulate body language because through the body language, you speak the inner person within you. You project the inner personality which is unique to you. And therefore, inclusion of body language in the totality means understanding the system and the totality in a far better way, in a far realistic way. Just like all other languages, body language is very complex, very deep. Although it belongs to us, it is our own body's language, still, it is a very big science called as kinesics. So today, we are trying to understand some aspects of this. I have full presentations of 6 PowerPoints on body language. I have given at least more than 25 seminars in the world over body language. After I wrote a big book of 800 pages containing more than 570 new rubrics which I offered, I found that inclusion of body language must be a part of homeopathy.
You certainly convinced me because if you just think of social media these days and how often just language alone gets misinterpreted online because you don't have the body language to go with it. And I'm somebody that constantly gets in trouble for that because I don't know if it's the way that I write, but I'm constantly, people are misinterpreting what I'm saying online because they don't have my body language and my demeanor and my love and my heartfelt intention that goes with it. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if verbal is actually worth even less than that. But when you've got that non-verbal that you can go off, it's really gold. Am I understanding it correctly? Because I said to you before we started recording, I always try and read my books of my guests before I get them on the show, but I've had such a crazy couple of months with a conference that I'm organizing and been so busy in clinic, so I haven't had a chance to read your amazing book on the body language and homeopathy. Did you just say that you've created new rubrics that relate specifically to body language?
Yeah.
Oh,
You
that's
see,
brilliant.
many people in the world started looking at the subject of fascinating subject of body language and they started using it. I have been working as an international teacher since 2003. So there are thousands of homeopaths now using body language as a part of understanding the patient, understanding the personality, understanding the totality. More than 70% mental rubrics are basically related to the body language. Let us take, for example, sarcasm. We have rubric sarcasm. How will you understand the sarcasm? No? Body language is a very good example where a person can show the sarcasm over the face, eye expression, facial expressions, the tone, the facial configuration changes when one is expressing the sarcasm.
I have to tell you this, Ajit. I had just before I started recording with you, I had a patient online and her husband was sitting off screen. And so he said something because I said something like, do you have PMS before your period? And then he said, no, she never has that, da, da, da. But I couldn't see him. So I said to him, I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not because I couldn't see him. He was off to the side. So it's really interesting you used that example, but you were so right.
It is said that when the patient is not before you, you miss the soul. The human body is not only a messenger of the physical body, it is a messenger, it is an ambassador of the self. So, body language comes through two sources. One is the source of the body, the other is the source of the mind, of the system, of the biological system. And I always use the word, it is a representation of the organismic wholeness. So even the body language can be local, nothing is local in homeopathy. Homeopathy thinks that everything pertains to the system as a whole. So our concept of a constitutional remedy, our concept of understanding the process of a disease, the phenomenon of a disease, is a totalistic, comprehensive consortium. So naturally, the idea of totality of Hanuman, we just are trying to make it more redefined, more synthetic, more understandable. So I go to the now inner view. I don't call it as a interview, where there are two dynamic people, the patient and the physician. Physician has a medical voice and the patient has a suffering voice. The incredible impact and the importance of the body language, many physicians don't understand. This is what Karen Leland writes. It is mostly because they are not taught it in the medical school. So I really appreciate you because you kept this subject. This is a subject which must be kept in the medical schools, not only of homeopathy, but every pathy physician must know the body language. Some physicians are good looking, but they are not successful. Some lack smart looks but are successful. There are many actors and actresses who are not beautiful, but their body language touches you. They are very popular in the world. Every one of us has the same physical dimensions, but each one of us has a distinct performance in the life. Why? Because the theme here, how you project through your body, how you talk, how you sit, how you make gestures, how you influence others. Today, the time has become very precious, very short. Body language saves your huge time in unnecessary talking. Unnecessary talking on the part of the patient is a major problem for homeopathy. A major problem of the patient is also excessive talking on the part of a physician. How can we avoid this without meaning affected, without affecting the details? We require the details, but we also require the details with evaluation, the details which are accurate, the details which are clearly comprehended by a physician. Nothing is monologue. The physician patient relationship, communication is a dialogue. There are two people involved, So the body language of two people. This is very important. So today's lecture focuses upon both how to comprehend the patient's body language and what should be the language of a physician when he's dealing with the patient. So we will study now. One by one, we will try to understand. Body language is like an autobiography in motion. The patient is before you, his life is before you, his image is before you, his personality inner is before you, ready to be explored. He's not talking, but he's speaking with you through the body. Let us take the first one, this one. What do you want to say? This is the language, no?
Are you asking me? Yeah, they look very disinterested. So they've got their one guy's like sitting back, other one's yawning, other one's got his head resting on his hand. Yes, look very uninterested and bored.
You see, person here wants to tell you something without words. This is objective.
Mm.
The first one gives you this one. It is, I am a very smart person. You may be as smart as me in future, I don't know, but I am smart. The other one is just, you see, fatigue and sleeping. The third one is with a evaluation gesture. Maybe she wants to yawn.
Mm.
And this person is engrossed in reading something. He's not concerned with what is going on here and there.
Or he's fake
They
sleeping.
are not happy. Yes. A physician must form a psychic map of the patient. How to do this job? My research work is performing the psychic map to develop modules in clinical practice by which this huge science of body language could be categorized. When you have huge information, it just confuses you. So we need some modules. So my book prepares your mind to study the modules and then to use so that the applicability of the body language is before you. So first thing, very important is a physician must be sensitive to each word and gesture of the patient. This is not only consciousness, but awareness. So what is the difference between consciousness and awareness? Awareness is a very active and acute character of communication, of consciousness. Consciousness is given to everyone. Awareness is not given. I'm driving a car and a dog comes before me. I immediately stop my car. Why? Because I become aware. I use the consciousness in a sharp way, in an acute way, in an active way. This activity, this dynamism is a very important foundation for every homeopath to study the body language. Then comes the modes. I will go with the modes later on. First, I will give you some idea. George Bernard Shaw, the distinguished personality. The problem with the communication is the illusion that it has occurred. We think that we are communicating, but the question is really, this really is a very important aspect. This is basically because communication is not only talking, communication is allowing others to accept what you think. There must be an influence of you as a person over others. Then the intention which you have in talking, in nonverbal language, in your expression, must be so convincing to the other. Then the person will listen to you. You are giving a good advice, but in a very dull way. This is not proper. So we will study all these aspects today. People today don't care of how much you know until they know how much you care about them. Information is not a problem today in view of the technology. How you translate this information in knowledge, in applicability. This is the crux. This is the soul today. Body language gives you that essence. We have more than 7 lakh non-verbal signals. A single human being produces so many non-verbal signals. Therefore, it is necessary to categorize them. So now we begin the categorization. The first one is opposition. So I said this one, I said this one, I look this one. I just stand and start dancing before you. So I go up, no?
Yeah.
A peacock dances, no? By going up. A child starts going up to the dancing in
Mm.
order to show the vigor. So up position. There are people who are always in up position, no? They are not looking at you. They are looking above, no? Our platina patient who
Yes.
think that you are inferior than me. So you are inferior, no? I am superior. So he looks up, no? If you ask him a question, I will tell you, you ask me this question, but I cannot answer this question. We are
Mm.
asking a question. He is unable to answer this question. This is the weakness, no? But he will not accept this. He will say, I don't know. But how? By looking up. Because you are inferior. Therefore, the rubric contemptuous is better understood provided you study the position of body language. You see now the connections.
Absolutely.
How
That
the
is so
mathematics,
great.
yes, how the mathematics, how the repertory has to be integrated with the body language. Therefore, I tell you more than 70% mental rubrics could be understood in a better way, provided you know the body. So we have opposition, domineering people, superiority, authoritarian people, confidence, self-righteous people, those people who take more space, no? So I can sit like this one. How are you? Are you okay? So how I am talking with you as if I am a great person, no? And I am like this one. King is sitting like this and looking below. How you will feel it? King is the one who will show you the superiority, no? People of superiority. People who are authoritarian. Our Staphylococcus aureus, sulfur, lycopodium, varietalum album, lachesis, host of remedies. No? I had a patient who used to do this one. I will tell you about my past history. Is it necessary to make a circle? Is it necessary? But he makes it, no?
So hand up in the air above his head, making the circle while he's talking. Oh, interesting. So how did you repertorize that? So if you notice that kind of body language, like how would you repertorize that?
I have a rubric which I have prepared, hand up and in circle.
Okay.
The rubric which I prepared.
And what was the remedy in it?
Yes, there are a lot of remedies.
Oh,
In the repertory, there are a host of remedies about this.
okay.
The main remedy here is the concept is the people who use this one, they are more manipulative people. So the first group of the remedies is spider group.
Ah,
It is very interesting because
it
they want to entangle you. You should now follow the AD which they prepare. No, this is the AD. One of my patients who was alcoholic, whenever I used to ask him, he will make such type of circle, you see.
mm,
I'm asking him, since how long you are consuming alcohol? Maybe 30 years. Is it
okay.
necessary to do this one? It is necessary because he wants to show that the circle which I am creating is created by me and I am going to do this one, this one. This is a continuum process. Unstoppable. We have the up position. This is a language which I am showing you. You go up, no? Your whole upper part goes up and you are showing this side of the hands. You see? For example, you are now standing like this.
Hands on the hips. Yeah.
Correct. Now you are showing this one.
Okay. The forearm. Yeah, the front of the forearm.
You
So the
see,
one you did before was just the
correct.
hands up behind the head.
When I stand this one, you make a fist here.
Yeah.
And when you go to this one again, you make a fist.
Mm,
It is not a total fist like this, but it is a fist.
mm.
So making a fist and going up. This is exactly what up position gives you. Then down position, submissive, shyness, bashfulness, timidity, cowardice, fear of appearing in public. How will you understand it? There is a person before you who has a huge problem in communicating with you. He has anticipation. We have anticipatory anxiety remedies, argentum nitricum, arsenic album, calcarea carb, magnesium carb. Then you will find ambragresia. So all these remedies will give you the anticipatory anxiety. Person will express it out through the body language.
Mm.
So there is a submissiveness, yielding. Yielding is basically a very good representation of the body language of the down position. You did not ask a person, are you yielding? So your unnecessary questions are filtered out.
Mm.
And this is a great benefit of body language. You don't go on asking redundant questions to your patient and just wastage of time sometimes. So we have now a very important aspect which we are learning today, the basic modes of the human beings. Okay. So these are very simple, open, close, back, and you will find forward. Very simple, no? We are open, we are close. We are at the back, withdrawing, and with the we are forwarding. And you will find between open and forward, there is a responsive. Between open and back, there is a reflective. Between back and close, there is a fugitive. And between close and forward, there is a combative. So these are 8 basic modes of the human beings. I have structured the whole process of understanding the interview based on these 4 categorizations. This is very interesting. I prepared a very big repertoire out of them. I explain the miasm, the vital energy, the person's dynamism involved not only in the interview but in the entire life of a person based on organization. So we will study them now. Now, first one is open attitude. Then you become open in body language also. No? Extroverted persons show this more. So
Mm.
we have rubric, no introverted. We have rubric reserve, no. So you see now, every rubric has some body language linkage. Open palms, open arms, face-to-face body direction, broad smile. This is called as a zygomatic smile. And you must have been knowing you are working in the field of communication, how much smile and laughing has a very big role to play in winning the situation. So homeopathy is one who has to win the patient's heart, no. For successful practice, you
Mm.
need the smile and the laugh. Physical gestures and cross arms and cross legs are minimal or absent. This is open. Then comes close gestures. I'm closing myself like this, not looking at you. You are a dynamic lady talking with me, but Ajit Kulkarni is a very dull person. Close one. How you will feel the interview? You will say Ajit Kulkarni's presentation was a very dull one. Very close person with close gestures. Success means dynamism and how you direct and redirect this dynamism in an appropriate way by comprehending totally. So nothing about body language is outside the field of homeopathy. Everything is cross, no?
And Ajit, you're probably going to address this anyway, but you know how some clients come in and they have very closed body language. And as soon as you build a bit of rapport with them and they start opening up and you're seeing that beautiful open body language, like how, when you're repertorizing that, like which one would you lay more importance on?
Yeah. You see, therefore I always tell that this is a dialogue. Body language is a dialogue. And where there is a dialogue, there is a very good sharing of the body language. That shows the closeness, that shows the respect, that shows the humanitarian angle of the life. So if you are kind, no, how will you express your kindness? Through the eyes, through the facial expressions, by being tactile with the person involved, by appreciating with him. You will look into the eyes of a person and show your kindness, your love. Then that matters, no? For example, you are talking with something but not looking at her.
Mm.
I am talking with you. How are you? How are you? Is it okay with you? What about the weather? I'm not looking at you and asking you 4 questions. You will say Ajit Kulkarni has some problem. He's not looking at me. Whether he has autism, mutism. So why this comes up? Because you expect that there must be eye-to-eye contact.
Mm.
So in the open gestures, eye-to-eye contact is proper. In the close ones, it is poor. Therefore, autistic children are recognized within minutes through the body language. So forward activity is there in the communication, leaning forward. Let us take one of my patients sustained disappointment in love. And she is giving me this very sensitive information. And I'm sitting like this. She's telling what is the impact of the disappointment in love over her. But I do not change my gesture. I do not look at her. I am a scientist, dry scientist, like face before the patient. Patient will feel this physician is not interested in me.
Mm-mm.
The distance which you have kept between you and the patient must be reduced provided patient starts giving you delicate, sensitive information. Then you must be with the patient. Just be humble, look at the patient and listen to it. Whether it requires any money, whether it requires only knowledge of body language, yes. What are the commercial tips for a homeopath? How he will get money? He will get money provided he is a master of body language.
Mm.
If an actor or actress gets money out of the body language, why not a homeopath?
I actually want to ask you, Ajit, I have some of my clients, they come in, and whenever the way my clinic is set up, I always push the seats, the two separate seats or the two separate chairs to the back of the wall, because I know some of my clients, they like to have a bit of distance. And then some of them will come in and they'll grab the chair and they'll push it right up to my desk, and they'll come, because my desk is quite small, they'll come and sit on my desk. And then you get the others, they like the Natmers, they just go sit right there. They just don't move the chair. They just want to sit as far away as possible. So I always find that really interesting as well, like seeing where they sit and what they do with their chairs. Like some of them you can see they're just such extroverts, chair right on your desk. And yeah, I mean, that's all very much part of. I wonder if in your book, how would you repertorize something like that, like a client that comes and sits like on your desk?
Then comes back, leaning back posture, staring at the ceiling, doodling or cleaning one's glasses. I'm just trying to use my glasses, not looking at the patient. Constantly, I'm doing this one, constantly doing this one. Then I'm wearing this one. Then again, what is happening is, am I with the patient? Patient needs undivided attention. He gives you money. He gives you time. He wants healing. He expects total undivided attention. Body language is a very good theme to pay attention fully.
As somebody who's a glass wearer, I just have to say I constantly have dirty glasses and I have to clean it. It's not because I don't care or don't want to listen to you.
So now, here begins a subtle, refined body language of the humans. What I call as a first one between open and forward, that is responsive. In the responsive body language, I respond. I'm with the patient. I'm externally oriented towards the patient, towards what he talks, towards what he questions me, towards the information which he gives me. So there is a very active participation of me in the interview and by the patient in the interview. So when both are responsive, interview is very good. And what is the condition of success for a homeopath? Be always in responsive mode. Those physicians who are in responsive mode are successful. They get more money. They are with the people. They are good listeners. They are good communicators. So we will study now. A good reservoir of energy is present to those people who are responsive. A patient who has depression is not responsive. He is dull, passive, inactive, fugitive. You have to motivate him. He tells you something, then he's again. not talking with you. Why? Because the energy is less, the mental resource is poor. So your way of basic presentation of the mode is affected. So person who uses this energy of the self by being active become the first categorization of the responsive mode. What is the body language of the responsive mode? Leaning forward, repeated glances. For example, you are talking and I am like this. You see, you will say, Ajit Kulkarni is listening to me, or he is in his own world. So when I nod my head, I look at you, I make eyebrow raiser, I do like this one, I use the hand gesture, very nice. Then I become responsive. Looking at you in an appropriate way with nodding of the head, then you become a good listener. What is the listening skill for a human? There are two listening skills. First, eye to eye contact. Second, nodding of the head. And eye is an extension of the brain. Eye is not a separate organ. Anatomically also, spiritually also, in communication also. Then warm, relaxed smile, frequent nodding of the head, firm, prolonged handshake. It is not just a handshake, no, like this. So there are more than 20 types of handshake. In business, what is important is a firm handshake. So you have to press the other person's hand with your thumb. Then it means that you are interested in another person. There is one more handshake which is called as a dead fish
A
handshake.
dead fish.
So a person is making a handshake with you, and you just keep the hand like this without any firmness.
Uh-huh.
The other person will think he is not communicating with me. Probably is not interested in business with me. So maintaining direct eye contact. You know, shyness makes you poor eye contact. But when a person has guilt, shame, self-reproachment, he cannot make eye contact. I had a professor of engineering who made some corruption and he was in the jail for a few months and he lost the confidence in the life. He had some heart problem, blood pressure, osteoarthritis of the knees. In the interview of more than an hour, he didn't look at me. And I immediately recognized that there is a problem with the mind, especially with the guilt. And I can't make a statement directly that, did you make any corruption? I can't ask like this. I just ask him, a professor, you are not looking at me. There is some problem. Please tell me what is the problem. Body language has opened for me a new field. And he told me the story. I still feel extremely guilty towards the behavior which I made. This guilt didn't allow the eye to have a direct contact. It is in this way the emotions totally influence the body. So mind is supreme, mind is dictatorial, the body is obedient and just follows. So
I,
open hand with palms visible. You know how the Buddha is sitting, no? Buddha is not sitting like this. Buddha is sitting like this because there is openness. Using hand gestures to emphasize. There is an article of mine, Talking Hands. It's a big article of more than 10 pages with a lot of images. I want to send you these articles now because the book is very difficult. It is not available, but I will send you some of my material.
Thanks.
Using hand gestures, you see this one. Oh, correct. Great. You are great. I appreciate you. Now, you know, we make an appreciation. It is very interesting. Can I do this one for appreciation? Not touching. My index finger is not touching the thumb. So, very nice. Very nice. How do you feel it? It is wrong. Why you do
Yeah.
you know what is wrong? When you touch it, the task is completed.
Yeah.
When the task is completed, then and then you will appreciate. No, you cannot appreciate before the task is completed. No? So This one suggests that the task which you perform, I am appreciating. And then it must be also at the level of the person's face or rather the eyes.
So just for our listeners, Jeet is making the okay sign. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
For example, your this sign is down, the person is standing here, and you make very nice. I appreciate you. It has
Mm.
no, you have to stand and say, I appreciate you. Then comes the space and distancing concept. Everything is connected to everything. This is the phenomenon in the life. No phenomenon has any isolated position. The same thing with homeopathy, same thing with body language, same thing with the symptoms. No.
Mm.
With the concept of the totality, we are again trying to emphasize the same thing. No. There is nothing like isolated element, component, fragment in the totality. Totality is not just conglomeration, a quantitative assembly of components. How they connect with each other defines the totality. The same concept you are able to see with body language. No isolated language has value. You have to see in the context of the emotions, in the context of the clinical entity, in the context of the personality before you. So, responsiveness. A physician who uses responsive mode, very successful in life. Then the reflective mode.
I feel like we're
In the,
getting bonus content because you're telling us how to read the client's language, but you're also teaching us how we as practitioners can use body language to be better practitioners, which is great. It goes hand in hand.
yeah. Now the reflective mode. Reflective between open and back. So you are more introvert, you are absorbed within, you are thinking. Someone is giving you information and you are thinking over it. There is a circumspection. So you go with this language, you go with this language, you go with this one, you go with this one. You try to understand, look at the person. What are I am listening for? How can you understand? How can I understand you? So physician who uses the second language of reflective technique when required. This adds to the success. Two languages, responsive and reflective on the part of the physician, extremely useful in clinical practice. So the theme is introversion, showing interest and being attentive. You may not accept because you are thinking, you may have doubt, you are analyzing. So this reflective mode is called as a judgmental gesture. So you want to judge the person. You want to not give value to the face. What the patient tells you is the truth. No, you want to analyze this, question this, scrutinize the matter. The reflective mode, the energy pattern of the responsive is less because you want to think over this. So there are pauses in between. Scratching of the memory box so that the remote information of the past comes to the fore. Let us take, for example, carcinosinum. Carcinosinum is under the rubric honest. Why? Because he wants to give you honest information. If you ask him a question, he will analyze. I want to tell you the truth. So he will start thinking over your question. So carcinosin must become a part of the reflective mode. It is in this way repertoire is created. It is in this way we unite the personality character of body language to a remedy. Then the remedy starts talking with you. In homeopathy, a big issue is about listing of the symptoms in the Mater America. So protean manifestations of the totality of the image of a person and of the remedy that we are lost in the information. And I always make a joke that if you are after symptoms and symptoms only, you will be lost in the jungle of symptoms. And you don't know which kind of the animal you become.
Mm.
Reflective mode. The reflective mode is much more psychotic miasm. The responsive one is more stoic. The reflective mode, gazing steadily, tilting or cocking of the head, resting the chin of the hands, furrowing the eyebrows, leaning back in chair, scratching the head. I will tell you, I had jaundice when I was 10 years of age. Is it necessary to do this one? Yes, because you are scratching the memory. If a person is answering always with this, you have to suspect whether he has a memory problem. Thus, the remedy, repertorial rubrics, immediately comes to your understanding. So, body language gives you the platform to find the rubrics, to take appropriate rubrics, to give value to those rubrics which previously were meaningless for you. You start giving meaning to them because you know the meaning now. So the fugitive mode means between back and close, no. Shy people, depressed people, apathetic people. The best example here will be phosphoricum acidum, no,
Mm.
who has lost the interest in the life. So he will be in the fugitive mode, not looking at you with a lot of gestures, which are postures, which are, you see, restricting him. In the fugitive mode, there is a smallness in one way or the other. You know, a person can sit like this, no? He doesn't find any way ahead to solve the problem. He has a sensation of being trapped, no? He's so down with a depression. Then he wants to close the forehead and the eyes, no? And when you close the forwarding two organs, no? Forehead, which is related to the brain, to the thinking, to the decision making, and eyes, they are representative of the entire world which you have seen and experienced. Eye is not only for looking at, never. Eye has a memory of its own. You just go today in your 10 years age and just find an incident which you saw, no? So your eye will keep that memory. And this is very important. I always say every cell in our dynamic self has a memory. Forget about the organs. And we are not only for the five sense organs, no. Our human body itself is a very big sensory apparatus. Five senses is always there. Everything is senses for a human. So if the physician is dull, unable to infuse inspiration, enthusiasm, motivation in a patient, fugitive mood is often the result. So patient is fugitive and physician is fugitive. What will happen, you see? The interview will be dull, no accurate and adequate information.
Mm.
So what will be the success? Melancholic, depressed, and anxious patients. A good parameter of assessing the energy level of the patient. So all these basic modes give you the energy pattern, which is otherwise difficult to assess. Body language gives you a very huge platform to study the human being. The fugitive mode, yawning, low tone of the voice, glancing at watch or other objects, downcast eyes, dead fish handshake, relaxed slum or slackened body. I am suffering from headache since the last 2 years. When the headache is worse, you ask a question. When the headache is worse, I can't tell you. It can develop at any time. So you will be bored. And patient has a capacity to bore you because you are a dynamic individual, impressionable, susceptible. This is the problem. When you study body language, you know what is happening around you. You become aware of the happening. You become aware of the surrounding. This awareness of the surrounding is the very basis of life. And why not of homeopathy? Why not of our clinical interview? So combative mode, the last one, between close and forward. Listen to me. Don't ask me any question. What the patient tells you, listen to me. No question to me. You have to listen to me. What is this? This is dictatorship, not allowing you to talk. The person is dominating. He wants to push his ideas. He's a pusher. For him, what he says is important. Then for him, nothing is important than his attitudes and will. So many people are with hypertrophy of ego functioning. No? Or then combative mode. Ego is of three types. Hypertrophy of ego, like Varadram album, like Opodium. I am great. Delusion that I am great. So if a person is with you, you see, delusion of great is as a rubric is understood better, no? You can't ask a question to your patient, no? Have you a delusion that you are great? You
Yeah,
can't.
that's
So the inborn state of the high self-image and the aggression, they come together. Then there is a combative mode. Venoms come here. Even Varhitram album is one of the remedies against combative mode. Anacardium, quarrelsome. How will you understand the rubric quarrelsome? With combative mode being understood through the body language, you're in a better position to understand the quarrelsomeness as a rubric. Combative mode, scowling, being angry, clench a fist. I had been in London many years back for giving a seminar on body language, and I took a live case of a lady who had hepatitis C with cirrhosis of liver. And throughout the interview, she was sitting like this. See, the hands like this.
fists on the hips.
No, on the table.
Oh,
Like,
okay. I can't quite see. So, oh, on the table. Okay.
why? Because she wanted to show how great she is.
Mm.
This was the delusion with her. So hands on the hips, knuckle grinder handshake. It means you press it very much that the other person becomes with discomfort. A rapid and loud speech, our lachesis will come here.
But that's just for our listeners. There's a little video here at the moment of a boy just rolling around the carpet. The audio is just really terrible for this. So that's not coming through very clearly, but we can observe the body language and yeah, just what you might call a typical almost 2-year-old temper tantrum by the looks of it. Oh, so he's fine. And then every time he sees the camera, he just falls on the floor. Oh,
So you see that this manipulative temper tantrum is
mm.
understood even by a dog
Mm.
who doesn't want to pay attention.
Yeah.
Not only with the human, this combative body language and temper tantrum as a rubric, they must have integrated together. My main work in homeopathy over years is to integrate several disciplines in medical science with homeopathy. I have brought many modules from psychology into homeopathy. I work over defense mechanisms. I work over these modes. I work over many other modules. I develop a very good understanding of the hero module in homeopathy. HERO, hero. H means happening. E means evaluation. Then R means a response. And the fourth one is the outcome. This hero principle must be the basis of analysis of the data when you investigate the life of a person. So this life space investigation, what is called, is basically trying to understand the four categories of the responses of the humans. Happening is happening. I'm giving lecture is nothing but a happening, an event. No? Then the processes, other processes, evaluation, response, and outcome are very individualist. So individuality in homeopathy, individualization in homeopathy is actually very rational and scientific aspect. How to understand a unique individual in a unique way by a unique physician. No? We must know these 8 basic modes of behavior and then trying to think with the human being. Study the mode with 3 questions, which is the crucial and consistent mode throughout the interview, even in the follow. Then how it is presented by an individual. Then why it is present. 3 questions. This is my body language repertory of the responsive, and I can give you an understanding of many remedies. Let us take, for example, Argentum nitricum. Why it is in bold way? Because it is active. Argentum nitricum is full with anxiety, anticipation, hurry. Time is very rapidly going on. and I must catch the time in time by being hurried. So even a question is not needed. It automatically goes into responsive mode. Let us take, for example, Mercury. Mercury patient is a very dynamic, active one and chaotic one, like the Mercury itself. There is a fluid consciousness with Mercury. You see this fluid consciousness through the responsive mode in the clinical practice. Then you see the concept of fluid consciousness coming from psychology. Reflective, responsive modes coming from the body language. The source information of the doctor and of signature of Mercury and the entire life of a patient before you as a mercurial life. Everything unites beautifully. Then the beauty of homeopathy as a rational, multidimensional therapy is before you. Homeopathy is not isolated, it is not fragmented, it is synthetic. But when you have the whole process of trying to make it multidimensional, and this is a very lifelong process of understanding homeopathy through so many disciplines. So we have a reflective. The best example of reflective will be Ambra Gricia. Ambra Gricia patient cannot urinate in the front of the people. This is exactly the inhibition. The reflex inhibition is not only related to the urinary system, the whole personality, the will, the drive, the motivation, the life is inhibited. There is a lack of go. He is a patient of depression. He cannot put his ideas because of confusion of the mind, because of the fatigue, like Kali phosphoricum. So, person goes in not only reflective mode, but also in fugitive mode. Remember, remedy even may be present in all the four miasms also, in the all four basic modes also. In a way, every human being is born with all the emotions. Everyone is born with all the miasms. Everyone is born also with all eight basic modes. But the degree and the level are different. The consistent pattern of a single mode gives you the personality in a unique manner. This we have to understand. Otherwise, everything is present. So, the degree and level matters, no? For you, as a dynamic lady doing all this work meticulously over years, that speaks of your activity index. So, we have fugitive now. Amra will come here. Capsicum, why it is capsicum here, fugitive? Because homesickness. And he loses every go in the life, just sitting, being absorbed. No interruption he likes, like bryonia, which is also called 3 marks under homesickness. Let us take, for example, you see a very good example will be Coculus indicus. You see, all the paralytic remedies in Materia Medica do have paralysis of the wheel also in evolution. Conium, Coculus, Picricum acidum, Causticum even, Ginkgum even. So these are the people who develop paralysis of wheel also. And that will get expressed at the level of the fugitive mode in clinical practice. In your consulting chamber, in a chair, patient will express it out. Then the combative one, all the venoms will come here. All the Solanaceae family will come here. Pramonium, Hyoscyamus, Belladonna, Lachesis, Apis mellifica, Naja, Crotalus cascavata, Crotalus horridus. All fluorines will come here. Acid group will come here. Acid group is much more aggressive group. And the combination sometimes in acid is also of exhaustion. Then they may come from combative to fugitive. We know acids are very active. And then with their activity, they go into passivity and suffer from exhaustion. So some activity followed by then no activity, hypoactivity. This is the natural sequence of the pattern which acid remedies reflect more. In the earlier one, if you see in the fugitive, there is a carbolicum acidum or bold one. Why? Carbolicum acidum gives you a very depressed state of the economy, more at the physical level. Phosphoricum acidum gives you the same fatigue at the mind level more, where the mind loses the go, loses the motivation, loses the will. Then it will come under fugitive. So now you see every remedy represents you something, and if we know very well the basics of body language, it is possible that we are entering in some field where we can lay hands on, and we can lay hands on very accurately. This integration is my contribution to homeopathy,
Mhm.
because this is very important. You see, our patient talks with you in two languages, and I always say, can you keep homeopathy only in verbal language, such a humanistic science? You can't keep.
Mm.
If I would not have work over body language, someone have work in future also, because this is the demand of the hour. So we have this combative power play. We have two power play. First is the finger.
Mm.
The second is fist. The third one is this one, where I make a fist. Then this one. Then this hands on the hips. Now comes the next one is the how you express your combative mode. For example, I want to be angry with you, and I am like this one angry with. I have to sit, look at you. Look, I will beat you. I will beat you. I will not tolerate this one. Where is my this pointer? This is a pistol, no? So how many people use pistol, no? Many people use pistol in their interview. You have to just observe them. Just write it down how many times within an hour your patient represented. 5 times, 10 times, 25 times. It is in this way, consistent representation will give you the inner personality. This is the study. So first impressions are very important. Of course, I don't believe that first impression should be the only impression lifelong. I think first impression must be good, but all impressions must be okay. Then comes simply be open, keep a good attitude, be retrospective. Then taking sunglasses off. I'm not a smuggler, no, to take an interview. Very dark goggle. If you are suffering from conjunctivitis, is okay. I understand. But you have no conjunctivitis, and
Mm.
you just want to act as an actor. So it is better to leave homeopathy and go in the cinema field. Moving closer, but not very closer. Yeah. Leaning forward, uncrossed legs, repeated glances, open lip smile, open hands with palms visible. These are the success tips. Erect body stance. Yes. I can give you a lecture like this one. I can give you a lecture like this one. It makes a change.
Mm, it really does.
Hands open, arms extended, eyes wide and alert, light and bouncy voice. Ladies like testosterone voice, and this is a gift also. So not all male do possess this testosterone voice. At least they can make the voice louder. May not be testosterone. So slightly tilted head. I will not be like a robot, no, looking at me. This okay, yes, I understand.
Mm.
Then there is a liveliness more. Do not exaggerate hand to cheek gesture. Can you take an interview like this one for 1 hour, sitting like this? Your assistant is writing everything. You're looking at and not leaving this. Your patient will be bored.
Mm.
Assistant will be bored by this one. So no gesture should be repeatedly the same to cause boredomness in others.
Mm.
Some people have this habit, so they have a long beard and you will ask them, yes, tell me about your disappointment in love. I think if this is being shown, people will think better not to tell this information, very precious information
Mhm.
to the doctor.
Mm.
So lack of concern about appearance. You have not taken bath for many days. There is no combing no, of the hair. You are sitting on the chair. How it will look.
I have to say, my daughter stole my brush out of my handbag and she didn't put it back. So I got to the clinic this morning and I didn't have a chance to brush my hair. So that was me this morning. I was not happy. I've decided I'm going to tie my brush with a little cord to my handbag so she can't take it again.
So
Uh,
a neat, clean and iron dress,
uh-huh,
appropriate profession.
uh-huh.
Never wear anything sloppy, tight, or revealing to the patient. Be sure your hair is clean and well groomed, and keep your makeup minimal because there is no shooting. Shooting is in Bollywood and Hollywood, not in your consulting chamber. And Edward D. Bono, my very favorite psychologist, has written, you can be with good dress. You can do a great deal to make your body more beautiful. You can make your face beautiful with cosmetics and even plastic surgery. A man can have implants, but be sure, great physical beauty with a boring mind is boring. You might get attention, but you will never keep that attention. This is the success tip.
Mm,
The attention which I am taking from you, if I'm successful in keeping it the same intensity at the last of the presentation,
mhm,
this is the speaker's success. The same is about the interview. The interview must be charged.
mm,
The interview must be balanced at the same time. The interview must be exploring the depths of patient's psyche,
mm,
of physical body. And everything also must be smooth when there are so many transitions which occur in the interview process itself. So do not cross your arms in the front of the patient. Crossing arms and legs indicates a blockage in communication. Face-to-face interaction is the must. Keep the arms relaxed and casual. To look honest and credible, show your hands. Very simple but very important clinical tips. Do not slump and stand evenly on both feet when you are standing. Then there is a solar, means SOLER. Sit squarely directly. O means open. Lean slightly towards the patient L. Make a good eye contact E and relax R. This technique must be followed by every homeopath for better communication and success. Touch now. Touch is a very important direct body language. You must know when to touch, why to touch, how long to touch, and where to touch. These four questions are very important to define the touch. You cannot touch a person for a long without his permission. You must know the location of touch. Appreciation through touching cannot be for minutes together, but for seconds. Touch is basically, you see, a very deep study, and I have a chapter in my body language book on tactile communication. Antimcrude and sulfur are very well known for aversion to touch. You cannot pick up a child of 2, 3 years and he will start crying and he will give you a message. Who are you to pick me up? Sulfur is very well known for being dry and rude with you. How will you understand sulfur child? No? Just pick him up and see his face. No? See how the body language directly gives you the remedies. So touch is also related to culture. The way in which, for example, there is a embracing in European people. In Indian people, you cannot have such type of embracing because then culturally you are held as a wrong man. So culture also plays a very important role in projecting your own body language. And just study, sepia has aversion to touch because sepia ink contains sulfur. Further, sepia has aversion to sex. No, sex is nothing but intimate touch. So the process of understanding the touch is also related to the sex. It is in this way you understand through the body language the concept of tactile communication in sepia. which was not earlier present. With my work now, people started analyzing it not only through symptoms, but through some other fields which are also very necessary to make homeopathy holistic. By taking an interview of 1 hour, homeopathy doesn't become holistic. Homeopathy will become holistic provided you integrate many disciplines and ideas based on reliable experiments over years in many fields, including human resources, psychology, physiology, pathology, clinical medicine, disease evolution, etc., 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 etc. And this work is a major work in future in homeopathy. Now, laptop and cell phone are two big obstacles today. Physician who will be able to keep them away is more successful. I repeat, patient needs undivided attention. So combination of openness, smile, eagerness, and sincerity. Your sincerity that you are serious. At the same time, you are free to open up. You are free to make jokes and to win the heart of the patient. This is also very important. Serious doesn't mean you have to be extremely serious and introverted and reserved so that you lose the dynamism. Now, I must talk with you with a smile. Even if you don't want to talk with anybody, just make a smile.
Hmm.
There will be a change.
Hmm.
And never look at anybody more than 30 seconds in a staring way. The person before you is disturbed. Even if a cat looks at you more than 30 seconds, you will be disturbed. You can make an experiment. And even a cockroach looks at you more than 30 seconds.
Well, if there's a cockroach in my house, I'll be disturbed anyway. So, uh,
Some people have the habit that they will make a joke and they will start, you see, laughing themselves without understanding whether the other person has understood your joke. This is not a good idea. Yeah. When the patient needs sympathy, compassion, empathy, show it. When you want to say thank you immediately. Today, thank you, and you make a thank you tomorrow. Or the same thing. Yesterday, you did a good thing. Thank you very much. It loses the intensity. Yes. Now, the feedback system through awareness of the body language. I understand. Yes, yes, yes. You are right. You are right. No, your views over a medical field today, I appreciate. Now you are looking at it, I appreciate. You make an I appreciate. Then you are with the patient. Compliance with the patient is one thing, and you are with the patient is another thing. So this with the patient, parallelism occurs. Body language gives you this parallelism, whereby patient has a feeling that this is a doctor who is with me. This is a doctor who listens to me. This is a doctor who understands me. Today, if I'm not wrong, the mainstream medicine doctors have no time to pay for even 5 to 10 minutes also. Only homeopathy is there in the entire world who gives more time to the patient. This is the strength of homeopathy, not weakness. Additional knowledge of body language will give him much more value.
mm.
Value to homeopathy, value to cell, value to clinical practice. Okay. Now, space and distancing. Public zone of space is 12 feet. Social interaction, 4 feet. Reserved for friends and family, 18 inches. Reserved for close relationship, 6 inches. Less than 6, reserved for intimate relationships. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 categories of space. Doctor must know them. Space and distancing and tactile communication are related with each other. Now there is an example. You say that sounds great in a monotone voice while you cross your arms and roll your eyes. It is a mistake because the message is not given in an influencing way. Eye rolling is a sign of contempt. More females are involved in eye rolling than the male. As far as
I don't
my
know about that.
And sometimes eye rolling is contemptuous, like Latin. Yes. How you make a smile, whether your smile is tight lip or open lip, whether you make your lips broad or very small. Okay. And then your face. You see the face of this man. Do you want to see this face again and again? Because it has become beautiful? No. You
Not
want to
really.
see just conclude something and close it off. No. The pain is mightier than the sword, but the tongue is mightier than the pen. The actions speak louder than the words. These are the basis of body language. When you talk, four things are very important: pitch, speed, loudness, tone. When you need loud talk, speak loudly. When you need a little bit slow speed, make it. If your patient is talking loquacious with great speed and rambling talk, entering into diverse fields, you have to stop him because you have to listen, you have to write. You need the data in a homeopathic manner. You know what is the best way to deal with such patients? In my body language book, I have given 27 techniques of interview. One of the techniques for handling loquacious patients is to give them free platform for 5 to 10 minutes. And then you tell them, I have listened to you. Now you have to answer according to my questions. I am here with you.
Mm,
We have ample time, but answer according to me.
mm,
Then he becomes more disciplined. Otherwise, lachesis is chaotic. And in the chaos, the totality is always confused. Now you see the speed. I had a student and she was asking questions in such a rapid way that patient has to ask, what is your question? So we were analyzing her interview and I wanted to know why she talks so rapidly. So I told him, I want to take your interview and I want to know why you talk so rapidly. And she was the third girl. The third one, people wanted the male and she was unwanted. And when she was talking, no one was there in the family to listen. So she then developed the habit that I must talk so rapidly that I will finish my talk and people will understand. This becomes a habit. Just speedy talking gave me the analysis. It is in this way body language gives you exploration, deep exploration, the deeper and the deepest exploration of the life. Just you must know how to catch it and use it at proper time. So politeness and kindness, these are the two attributes of a human being. And human being is not only an animal, lower animal. So kindness and politeness being reflected through the body language gives you immense money and happiness. Proper enunciation and pronunciation of the words is a priority. Why did you call me here to give a lecture? It wasn't necessary. I'm very busy and you said I have to deal with me. It is not right. What did you understand out of my talk? Nothing. You will ask me, Ajit, you were talking so nicely. What happened to you? You must see that your message is conveyed correctly.
mm,
There is a diabetic patient who doesn't follow any advice. His blood sugar HbA1c is too high, more than 10. It must be below 6. His mother and his wife, beloved wife, is telling him, follow the diet, no sugar. He's not listening. And he has come to you as a patient and you are telling me, see, your blood sugar is high, you have to follow the sugar. Do you think it is useful? No. Now, how you will give, you see, this message, you see, stand up, look at him, look at his pierce the pistol, pointer display, and tell him, too high blood sugar level over years. Do you want to die? Look at him. Do you want to die? Then it will be more influencing. So with body language, how you influence others
Mm.
becomes very important.
Mm.
Be expressive but without overdoing. Don't make big hand gestures or fidget with their hands, phone, or hair.
Mhm.
I had a patient who was answering me with this key always change. You see, I
Mm.
told him, you see, keep it away. It is disturb, but he has this habit. Then I
Mm.
took my hand and keep it with me. So powerful people tend to use smaller, more subtle hand gestures to demonstrate their point with authority. And you know which is the best interview? Less questions and more elicitation of the data. More and more questions means you keep your patient in a prison. And each question is just like a bar, no, in the jail. So how you can be successful as a clinician, as an interview taker? Less questions possible with body language. This is the benefit of the body language. Okay, so this is all about handshake. The second one is
Cold fish, wet fish.
dead fish. Then individuals who do not respect others' space are less popular and rejected by the people. This is divorce. You didn't give me space, no. Wife says to husband, husband says to wife, no. You didn't give me space. And space not giving is a major obstacle in communication, no. How will you make your space valuable? And how you will understand the space concept available with the patient? Let us take, for example, lack group, milk, remedies, and homeopathy. What is the concept? I am inferior. I am outcast. I am rejected. I am abandoned. And this I deserve. I deserve this abandonment because this is what I think of the life now. This is what I think of my personality. This is a lag group. So lag group will be much more in fugitive group. This one you will find has made his space small. Then comes the concept of atrophy of ego functioning. I prepared rubrics out of this. Hypertrophy of ego rubric I prepared. Atrophy of the ego I prepared. Alumina has confusion of identity. This is the main remedy in Matera Medica. With identity, we try to understand role definition, no? Identification of a role and what exactly the role I should perform as far as the people are concerned, as far as the environmental interaction is concerned. This is a confusion because identification of the role has been not defined by a person. Now, lysis of ego means nervous breakdown. Lysis, you cannot put your ego functioning in an adequate manner. You go in a withdrawal way, in a fugitive way. Best example you will find is alumina also. The other example is acid phosphoric. Even picricum acidum, you will get the same theme of nervous breakdown. Aurum metallicum, for example, aurum group in general, it also goes for fugitive one, feeling extremely worthless and useless. A strong body will boost personal confidence. Dressing well will help improve our self-esteem. An open posture will induce confidence. Speak in a confident tone to increase your feelings. This is the integrated vision, what I call as a homeopathic vision, which includes psychological, clinical, organizational, and behavior. Last two slides only, just I will read them out. The mind and the body are inseparably one. The unity that is me separates into the streams of experience. I experience the subjective stream as thoughts, feelings, and desires. I experience the objective stream as my body. At a deep level, however, the two streams meet at a single creative source. It is from this source that we are meant to live. This is the basis of body language and also of homeopathy. The last slide. Each of us inhabits a reality lying beyond all change. Deep inside us, unknown to the five senses, is an innermost core of being filled of non-change that creates personality, ego, and the body. This being is our essential state. It is who we really are.
Mm.
This unique understanding of the reality within a person is the exploration, the search for a homeopath. Body language helps you that search.
Mm.
So thank you very much for giving me this platform to cast my views and to give you the interesting and fascinating science of kinesics in a small way. Before you study this science, it will certainly help you in your clinical practice.
Oh,
Thank
thank you so much, Ajit. And you've actually written about 10 books, I think. Hey, yeah.
I have been author of many other books.
Hmm.
I am author of this is the first volume, what I
Hmm.
call as Harmony in Totality. It is relevant to mind and to the homeopathic philosophy.
Hmm.
This one is a second volume. This is about Mater America and prescribing methods.
Mm.
I am a author of a big article over data processing homeopathy, where objective analysis of the data processing has been presented by me through 20 points. Many people in the world follow the 20 points to define the data in homeopathy. Now, this is my homeopathic Mater America, 150 remedies, 1250 pages book.
Wow.
And I wrote this with my teacher, Dr. Tarkas, who died at his young age of 93 years.
Wow.
So I work with him since 1980. This is the seventh large edition. So these are the three main books which I wrote. And a third volume of Harmony in Totality is going to be published in October.
Wow.
This is a 900 pages, and that one has crossed 1000 pages.
Wow.
So it is related to repertory and cases and my analysis of the cases.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So this is a work, and God has given me enough strength to present homeopathy to the profession, and He should give me the enough strength in future also to serve homeopathy.
So people can purchase the books at ajitkulkarni.com, or is there a specific place that you prefer that they
Uh,
purchase the
uh,
books?
you can provide them with my email when they
Email?
will
I'll pop that in the
receive,
show notes. Sure.
manage to send them. Yeah.
Great. And anyone who is interested to learn more about you or your work can go to ajitkulkarni.com.
Yeah, and if you write just Ajit Kulkarni Homeopathy, you will get a lot of information about me, about my work. I have also written a book on homeopathic posology. Then my Amazon has published a book on homeopathic Covidoscope, 273 pages book, which is also used by many people. And this is regarded as a good book to study a disease according to homeopathic philosophy. Yeah.
Incredible.
Yes. So this kind of the work is going on.
Amazing. Well, you're certainly keeping busy, that's for sure. Ajit, it was so lovely to get to meet with you. And thank you so much for coming on today and sharing your slides with us and being so generous with your time. I really appreciate it.
Okay. Yes. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.